The 7-a-side Coed division of the Canadian Corporate Soccer League reaches its climax tonight, as it is the league final between Labatt FC and Internacional FC. We are at Soccerplex Catalonia in the Lachine district of Montreal, Canada, and taking a look at how Labatt line up. They're considered to be fairly heavy underdogs heading into this season as they're facing a very well-established side in Internacional SC. We take a look there at number 13, Edu Lilo, the captain of the team, and he will certainly be one to watch, one of the most decorated players in the history of the Canadian Corporate Soccer League. And we're underway at Soccerplex Catalonia. Already a chance there. And we'll take a look at the referee today. It's Igor Harhu. He had the big assignment of taking charge of the Premiership Division final just about a month ago between FC Jazz and Peaky Blinders. There's a corner swung in and an emphatic effort that just misses. And then there's a long shot that goes well wide. Labatt's is wearing their all-black uniforms, moving from right to left on your screen. Internacional in their yellow and orange, very striking kits, moving from left to right. Ball moved up the field, looking through the middle. It's off a foot and will roll away. But Internacional get it right back, looking to cut it to the top of the box. Ball put in there. It just misses the mark, and it's going to be out for a goal kick. As we said, this is 7 versus 7 football. We're using the orange lines. You can see there, just to the right of your screen, it's the corner flag. So it's not the first yellow or orange line, it's the second one. And you'll see the goalkeeper's box there in white. The 7 versus 7 field usually is between 30 and 36 meters wide and 40 and 55 meters long. And there you can see the regulation 18-yard box, as here's a ball put in there, easily handled by the goalkeeper. And there you can see the 18-yard box, which gives you an approximate idea of how big the field is. Also, it's roll-on, roll-off subs, and you can see there one being made right now as a player jogs onto the field. And also, as you just noticed, no throw-ins to be had, it's kick-ins, which really changes the dynamic of the game. And it really means that no team is out of it, because whenever the ball goes out of play, it's essentially a free kick, and you can really commit some players forward. These 7 versus 7 matches usually pretty high scoring, but then again, this is the league final, and anything can happen when it's two top teams going at it, like Labatt and Internacional. Ball headed down, almost clearing it away. There are also no offsides, which we should have mentioned, and that one is gloved by the goalkeeper. So no offsides, throw-ins or kick-ins, and roll-on, roll-off subs. Those are the regulation rules for 7 versus 7. That's not just here in the Canadian Corporate Soccer League as Labatt bring it forward. And it's going to be a foul called back. So here's a free kick, a bit too far to try their luck on goal, I'd say. But nonetheless, they are going to put some players forward. Getting set to take this free kick. It's a 3-man wall, and it's right into that wall, and it bounces out of play. As we said, we are in the Lachine borough of Montreal, here in Quebec. And there you see it. Every ball's going to be going into the box. It's a good header down, and it just misses. He was left unmarked, and he's not happy with himself about having missed it, but that's what we were just talking about a few moments ago. How really opportunities can come from nowhere with those kick-ins. And now the referee blows his whistle and we'll try it again with a free kick. And Internacional taking that one a bit too quickly, and the ball was improperly placed, so we'll bring it back. Soccerplex, this facility is well known here in Montreal. They've got this outdoor pitch, which they cover over in the winter with a dome, so it can be used all 12 months of the year here in Canada, where it gets very cold and snowy for the winter months. And then they also have a nice facility indoors as well that the Canadian Corporate Soccer League has used. So now here's a free kick. And that one, well out of play. It's always interesting to see the contrast in formations in 7 versus 7 soccer. As we see some fresh legs heading onto the field for Labatt in their black uniforms. Goal kick skips up the field. There's a nice nutmeg, but the defender tracks back well. So there's 2 types of formations for 7 versus 7 soccer. It's either 2 at the back, usually results in a 2-3-1, or it's 3 at the back. And here comes Internacional right now trying to cut in, but the defenders just collapse and push it away. There's a ball swung in there and the goalkeeper's off his line quickly, and he's going to try to transition it quickly. Defender misses it, and the ball's going to stay in play on this near side. Looking to get to the byline, but another defender skips back to knock it away. So it's either 2 at the back or 3 at the back. 2 at the back, obviously more aggressive, riskier. You can score more, but you'll also concede more. While 3 at the back, it's important to get your wingbacks up the field as that ball blazes across the face of goal. It took a deflection, so they're going to have another kick from a similar position on the other side of the field. This one put in there for the header. It's a bullet header that goes just wide. Usually, if there's 3 at the back, the formation will be something of a 3-2-1 or a 3-1-2. And just looking at how the teams are set up right now, it looks like Internacional have just 2 at the back as they play it out here and look to move it up. And a bit of ping pong this time as it goes flying high in the air. The issue with 3 at the back is sometimes it's very easy for the 3 forward players to get isolated, as there's some last-ditch defending that knocks that opportunity away. And now they'll commit some players forward. And there we see it with Labatt. They really just have those 3 players. They need some support or someone moving up, and now they can move up as it's a kick-in. Ball put in there. Another header. Labatt have really been chasing those headers through the first 8 minutes. They seem to think they have the height advantage, or at least the advantage in the air up front. As Internacional dribble it back up the field. So maybe we're going to see a contrast in styles. 3 at the back, more of a conservative approach from Labatt, and then more of an attacking look from Internacional. That ball bounces out of play. Internacional primarily comprised of therapists and friends of. They've been playing in the league for quite some time. And the captain, as we mentioned earlier, is Edu Lillo. He's one of the most decorated players in league history. He's been playing since 2008, so this is his 13th season in the Canadian Corporate Soccer League, which was founded, I think their first season was 2007. So he's been around a lot, and he's won at least 7 league championships and 15 golden boots, and there's a foul. And the referee may just have a quick talking to with this player, as it was a foul in the box. And definitely one of the most decorated players there. He's wearing number 13 right now for Internacional. Certainly knows how to put the ball in the net. He actually started playing in the league on a team with his father, and now pretty much runs Internacional himself. And here they come moving forward. Internacional with pace, putting it to the outside. Tough angle for a shot. They'll try it anyways. It hits the goalkeeper, and it stays out. I believe that was Lillo who tried the shot and now is jogging off the field. Meanwhile, Labatt's come in. They're considered underdogs coming into this match. They're primarily comprised of accountants and marketing members from Labatt's brewery here in Montreal. And they all work together, and they get to get together outside of work as well, as that was a good idea with that pass, and it just skips over the player's foot. And that's the beauty of the Canadian Corporate Soccer League. A lot of the time it is co-workers who get together, and in this time with COVID-19 and a lot of offices have transitioned to virtual or remote environments, sometimes the only time you'll get to see your co-workers is at the soccer pitch. So that's part of the beauty of the league, is this ball's put up high, and there we see Lillo on this near side. He was loose there, but the ball was rolling out of play anyways. Again, 25-minute halves, so there is some urgency. But in this final, it could be quite the tight game. Ball deflects off of a player and then is almost cleared down the field. Here we see Internacional comfortable in possession, and there we really see it. Only the two players at the back and everyone else moving forward. Then again, they're always vulnerable on the counterattack when you only have two players back there. And it is a very fast game, the 7 versus 7 game. With such a small field, it's important to have good technical abilities. And now it's a free kick. Looks like only two players in the wall. Goalkeeper crouching low to see the shot, and he makes a nice stop. Somehow saw it around the wall and managed to parry it away. Or actually, maybe I saw that wrong, as it's going to be Labatt's ball, so maybe it hit something else and then found its way out. Dancing through the middle of the field, looking to use support, and that's what they'll do. There is a game going on just behind us on one of the other fields here at Soccerplex Catalonia. So you may hear some whistles, and I think we heard a goal go in a few moments ago. That one knocked out of play. 7 versus 7 is actually the most popular format of soccer for the Canadian Corporate Soccer League, for a variety of reasons. I think, well, for starters, it's easier to put together a team. You can have a comfortable team with about 10 players, because 3 on the field, and 7 on the field and 3 subs. That's not bad. Whereas for an 11-a-side team, you'll need, well, at least 15 players, I'd have to say, and there's always someone who can't make it any given week. So 7 versus 7, very popular, and also it's just an easier game, I'd say, physically, given that the field's smaller and just that much less running. And that's a big mistake, as Labatt tried to play it back, and they'll concede the corner kick. Corner taken short. Trying to get an overload here. It was a 2v1, but the defender did well to knock it away. It's certainly non-stop action here. So just about a quarter of an hour in, we're still looking for our first goal. I suppose that's a bit surprising, considering how high scoring these 7-a-side matches can be, which I think we mentioned just a bit earlier. You rarely see 0-0 decisions in the 7-a-side game, as there's a good defensive play. Ball switched out to the far side, and it's going to roll into the 11-a-side goal as Labatt's make a couple of changes to get some fresh players out onto the field. And Internacional get us restarted. Looking to find some space on the far side. They've won themselves a kick in. We'll see how many players they commit forward. And they end up just playing it short. And that ball not well intentioned. It actually hits the corner flag, and it's going to be a kick in pretty much right on the corner. As Labatt gets some more fresh legs in there. We see on their bench they've got quite a few substitutes at their disposal. Never a bad thing. And they just cleared up the field here. Nice touch to bring it under control, but then it's a strong defensive play. Labatt still have it, however. Trying to move it outside, but it's taken away. Now a ball up the field through one player's legs. And a good physical challenge there. And our camera just struggling to keep up with the play when it's right in front of us like this. And that is a foul committed by Labatt. Kind of interesting to have such a high-angle view of the game. It's always interesting when you're in a press box somewhere and you have an officiating evaluator or another referee sitting near you as this time the ball hits the referee. And we'll look to get things restarted. You always get a slightly different perspective, and it's easy to nitpick when you have the advantage of a good high angle. But the referees always do a good job, and it's a fast-paced game here as this one into the box dangerously, but it's going to be knocked away. Sometimes it can be difficult to keep up with the pace of a seven-a-side game, especially. And now the referee's going to halt things, and he's having a conversation off camera. And we're going to try this kick in. Off ahead, flicked on, bouncing dangerously near the box. And then they bank it off of a on-rushing player and out. Internacional finished in first place in the division during the regular season. Very much the class of the seven-a-side Coed League, as we mentioned off the top. Here we see a press being put on by Labatt. If they're able to knock it over, they could be in some trouble. Not a whole lot of movement right now by Internacional as this ball's over the top. Flicked along. They're going to be able to keep it in down this near side, trying to poke it past. And it actually went out, and it's going to be a goal kick. And there you see it. Nothing doing through the first 19 minutes of this match now. It's the cup final for the seven-a-side division. Now rolling in there towards the goal. It's going to be a goal kick, but a good opportunity for Labatt to try to break the deadlock. And certainly in seven-a-side football, you definitely see players, if they're going to try their luck on goal, they definitely go for more power than placement. As with such a small goal, the goalkeepers really have to come out and cut down the angles, and I think we'll be seeing that from both keepers today. And so a lot of the time, it's just in your best interest to try to blast it right through them. Never fun being in a defensive wall if there's a free kick in a seven-a-side game, especially when the distance given is only 5 yards as opposed to the customary 10 for 11-a-side soccer. And here comes Internacional looking to break through about 5 minutes from the halftime. Turning with the ball. There's a shot. It's blocked well by a defender, and they're just going to let it roll out, and they'll try the kick in. And that's one of the challenges, too, with seven-a-side football, is you can really just throw a bunch of players in front of the goal, and look at how deep Labatt are right now. Almost all of their players were inside their box at that time. And it's just so hard to break through. And a foul is called against Labatt, so Internacional are going to set up this free kick. I'd have to say it's been fairly even. I think maybe Internacional enjoying slightly more possession, maybe looking just that more dangerous, but Labatt have been knocking on the door with the counterattacks. The service off of free kicks and kick-ins, any kind of dead ball, really hasn't been great from either team today. Interestingly enough, I was playing a soccer match in Ontario a few days ago, and they don't allow heading of the ball as one of their COVID-19 regulations, and that just completely changes the game for a defender. It actually, honestly, it makes it quite dangerous because everyone's just flying up there with their feet, whereas here in Quebec, you're still allowed to head the ball, and really it makes sense. And here's, I'm not sure if it's a corner or a kick-in, but for all intents and purposes, it is a corner for Labatt. They loft it in there just over the head, and then it's cleared away. And ball up the field. It's going to stay in bounds, looking to knock it past. And it's a corner kick. I think that's the correct decision from the official, at least from my view. Internacional not happy with it, but it certainly looked like it was going to be a corner. And so another opportunity here for Labatt. Ball put in high, looking to attack onto it, but there was a foul committed in the box. Labatt have fancied themselves with that high ball in there, looking for one of their taller players to get onto it and try to head it down. Ball down the line. Trying to shield it out, and very nice work by the defender to hold off the on-rushing forward. Only a few minutes before the halftime break, and quite frankly, very surprising not to see any goals thus far. Two teams that are very well put together, as Internacional played in short. Looking to get it down the line. Nice move, but it's knocked away. Now attacking the ball is that left back. Left-footed ball over, chested down. Looking to bring it over the top. And now calls for a foul or a handball. It's going to be a dead ball, and this is really a dangerous situation here, right on the corner of the box. Not sure what the offense was for, if it was a handball or some sort of a push. But they are going to set it up here, and I wouldn't be surprised if Labatt's put 4 or 5 players in their wall. And actually, as soon as the foul was committed, we saw Lillo run onto the field, and I think he's going to be the one to take it. That's one of the advantages of these roll-on, roll-off subs. You can really pick who's going to take your kicks. So it's kind of an awkward position on the edge of the box. Goalkeeper crouching low. There's the shot, and it's into the top corner for the opening goal. Well-placed finish with a lot of power behind it, and the goalkeeper could not rise to meet it. We'll take another look here. Great angle for the replay. It was just too powerful into the corner. Goalkeeper was ready for it, but it was very well placed. And right before halftime, Internacional take the lead. And actually, that was the last action of the first half. So right on the stroke of halftime, it's a 1-0 lead for Internacional on Corporate Soccer TV. And we're just about ready to go for the second half. 25 minutes to decide the winner of this 7 versus 7 Coed division in the Canadian Corporate Soccer League. The Canadian Corporate Soccer League is a member of FIFCO, the Canadian member of FIFCO, the International Federation of Corporate Football. And we are in Montreal, Canada for this match. Ball over the top, out of play. Internacional took a 1-0 lead right on the stroke of halftime with a nice free kick into the top corner. And a reminder, of course, it is 7 versus 7, roll-on, roll-off subs. And as we're seeing here, kick-ins instead of throw-ins. We said off the top is, there's nearly a bad giveaway as the kick-in was not handled well. It's going to be a goal kick here for Internacional. We said off the top, Internacional pretty much favored in this match, both based on history and how good they've been historically in this division, and also how they did this season. Graham Neysmith here with you on the commentary on Corporate Soccer TV. Internacional, the team in their light yellow and orange uniforms, moving from right to left on your screen. They finished in first place in the division this season. In 12 games played, they had 10 wins, only the 2 losses, with a plus 44 goal differential, so very impressive. 30 points, top of the division, not surprising. And then Labatt's, they actually finished in third with 7 wins, 1 draw, and 4 losses. There's a shot just blazed over. Very close from our vantage point to finding the back of the net, with a seemingly harmless shot from distance. So Labatt's finished in third with 22 points, and then the top 4 teams qualified for the playoffs. And just last week, as Internacional bring it forward, they've got some numbers committed forward, but it's a good low block here from Labatt's. They're putting it in there. The goalkeeper handles it. Just last week, Labatt survived a nail-biter with Team 8, who finished in second place during the regular season. It was a 2-1 final score in that semifinal. Very, very tight game. And here comes Internacional again. They've got some numbers forward, bringing it to this near side. It's a first touch that brings them away from goal, and nutmeg, and then the goalkeeper pounces on the ball. So a 2-1 victory for Labatt's last week. Got them into this final. And there's a foul. So this is very interesting. It's a free kick from literally the same spot from where Internacional scored their opening goal. Only now it's Labatt's who are going to take it. Right on the side of the box. And 5 yards given there for the wall. Looks like 3 players in the wall for Internacional. Labatt's looking to tie up this cup final. 3 minutes into the second half. Oh boy, that shot well over and off the side of the building. Meanwhile, Internacional had a bit of a scare in their semifinal as well. They were facing WB Games. And Internacional won 5-3, but apparently it was a very, very close match. Hotly contested as you would expect. And we're just going to get that ball back, and then we're set to restart. We see actually a defender taking the goal kick here, which is really a disadvantage, I think, for Internacional. They put it up the field. Someone missed the header. And then Labatt's get it, and they'll look to counter-attack quickly. But that defender jumped and got the ball. Here comes Internacional again, battling for it down low. And it rolls out, and now the official running off screen back towards Internacional's end. It appears to be Labatt's ball. I'm not sure if it's a kick-in or a free kick. And we'll get things restarted with Labatt's in their black uniforms. We were just saying, I think it's a big disadvantage for Internacional, the fact that they don't have their goalkeeper taking the goal kicks because, and now we see there's a player just off behind the goal being attended to, so that must have had something to do with that stoppage just a moment ago. It's really a disadvantage because when you think about it, if the goalkeeper's taking the goal kick, theoretically they have 6 options, 6 other players to kick the ball to, whereas if it's a defender, they only have 5 other options. Because I doubt they're going to give the goal kick to the goalkeeper. As there's a nice ball in, flicked off of a head, and it's going to be a corner kick. And when you're playing 11 aside, it's kind of like, okay, well, instead of 10 options, I have 9. You still have plenty of players to pass to, but seems like a disadvantage from 7 aside. Stepping inside, good opportunity to shoot. It hits something on its way through, and it's going to be Internacional ball. 20 minutes from time. 25-minute halves here on this 7-a-side field. Ball into the box, knocked down by a defender, and then cleared away. Labatt's really committed a lot of players back there. Again, almost all of their players were in the box, defending. We said earlier Labatt's I think, fielding more of a defensive formation as they try to bring it forward. Kicking it inside, but there's a defender there for Internacional. And that's a really smart play just to let it roll out. Whereas Internacional maybe going a bit more offensive. I think they have only 2 at the back, meaning that they have 4 players who can really commit up the field, whereas I think Labatt's have maybe 3 players, although right now it looks like they only have 2 back there. Internacional looking to put the kick in there. It's deflected away. A glorious opportunity for a shot. They're going to try to place it, but the goalkeeper saw it all the way and gathered it easily. We also see Labatt's really using their bench a lot more than Internacional, I think. Labatt's, as we said, have, I think, maybe 5 substitutes who can go onto the field, so they're doing some quick subs. They're always going to have fresh legs out there, whereas Internacional are leaving their players out a bit longer. Here's a ball into the box. It's a goal! It was headed in. They've been looking for that all day. They've been looking for that header off of kick-ins or corner kicks, and they finally got it here in the 32nd minute. A really nice ball into the box, and it's a flying header right into the back of the goal. There were 2 players who came together, and I think they both missed it, and it threw off the Internacional defender and maybe the goalkeeper too, but the Labatt's player kept on going and headed it away. There's a long drive that's well wide, and we were saying they've been trying that play where they're looking for headers off of kick-ins or corner kicks, and they finally get one to go. And so now it's knotted at 1. With just over 15 minutes to go, this should be a very interesting finish here from Soccerplex Catalonia. Perhaps just a bit against the run of play, Labatt's goal, as I think Internacional have had the majority of the possession, but it's all knotted on the scoreboard. Now they're going to be looking for another one, and that kick-in did not go well, and they can counter away here. Internacional moving up the field with pace. Looking to cut in towards the box, trying a shot. It's blazed over the goal and off of the netting there, protecting the houses behind. Oof, that was a dangerous pass, and it's going to be intercepted. Here comes Internacional. They flick it over the goal. They've really been pressing, and they almost took advantage of a mistake that time. Probably would have wanted to do better. The goalkeeper was not off his line very quickly, and there was some open net to shoot at, but it was over the net. Labatt's trying to play it out from the back, and they're struggling to do so here. Looks like this kick-in is going to go long, hanging up there in the air. Goalkeeper, not sure if they got a piece of it, but it was defended away. So, Internacional got the opening goal right before halftime, but then about 7 minutes into this second half, Labatt's respond, and there's 15 minutes to go now to decide this final. And now players on the ground. Internacional get it back, looking to bring it to the top, looking to shoot, but they were always going to be blocked there. As look again, Labatt's committing a lot of players back, really defending enthusiastically here. And Internacional commit a turnover. Here comes Labatt's once more. Oh, one final pass would have really opened it up, but a defender closed it down quickly and stomped out the counterattack. Nice work by the defender there that time, I think, more than any mistake by a forward. And Labatt's showing like they're going to put this ball into the box, looking again for a header. There it is in there. Goalkeeper misses it. It goes into the goal, but they're going to say the goalkeeper was interfered with. I think that's the correct call. In any case, it wouldn't have counted. The ball would have had to have hit something, whether it's the goalkeeper or one of the attacking players. You can't score directly from a kick-in, and I don't think it hit anything that time. And we're just going to make sure the goalkeeper's all right before continuing. Internacional kicking it up the field, headed down. Right at the top of the box. Now moving along. Now putting it in there. It was open for them for a second. Now they'll try the shot. Takes a deflection. Goes wide. It's going to be a corner kick. Internacional enjoying some good possession in the attacking third. And they play the corner short and quick, as they have been throughout most of the game. A couple of fakes. Nice pass and move, but it's out, and we're going to make some substitutions for Internacional. Really, the key in seven-a-side football is who can defend the top of their box the best, because that's where most of the goals come from. If you have an open shot from pretty much the penalty spot, that's going to be how you score the goals, because it just gives you the most net to shoot at, and it's hardest for the goalkeeper to defend. And here comes Internacional on the counter-attack. Trying to move it through the middle, poked away. Labatt's trying to keep it in, but it rolls out. And we saw it earlier where Internacional, they took advantage of a bad pass, and they were trying to break through in on goal. And it looked like they had a lot of net to shoot at, but really the goalkeeper cut down the angle, which took away a lot of the goal. Whereas if that opportunity had been in a more central position, I think the forward would have been favored to put it home. So really it comes down to who can dominate the two penalty spots on the field. Who can defend it best, and then who can attack their best as well. That's usually who wins the game. Internacional putting it into the box. I think it hit that defender, and yep, it did. It's going to be a corner. I'm surprised they didn't try to move it to the defender who was standing in the middle of the field. As here's a ball lofted back off a head. Kind of bounces up awkwardly. And there it is to the top of the box. Trying to maneuver back. Moving it through the middle. Did that catch a hand? It did. And it's going to be a big opportunity here. Looked like it may have been... Could have been some shouts for a penalty there, but the official deeming it was right on the edge of the box. Certainly not an intentional handball. I don't think many handballs are intentional, quite frankly, but it did catch the hand. And again, it's going to be Lillo stepping up for another free kick. Goalkeeper's really going to have a hard time seeing this ball. It's a low shot, and it's into the goal. It somehow found its way through. I don't think the goalkeeper saw it, and it's into the back of the net for a 2-1 lead. We'll take another look. How did it find its way through? Well, right around the goal, and the goalkeeper was down, but couldn't keep it out. And Internacional take the lead with 10 minutes to go. And immediately they've got the ball back. 2 goals from their captain. And they've got a nice 1-goal lead. Still some time to play, however. Still some time for Labatt to respond. And that pass off the mark. Labatt is going to get it back. Ball slapped back up the field, looking for a through ball. It's taken away. Here comes Labatt's really good option on the outside. Instead, it's a long shot that's parried away by the goalkeeper. There was a nice run being made on the far side that I think could have really opened up Internacional, but they fancied the shot from a more central area. Looked like it may have been moving in the air somewhat because the goalkeeper just decided to punch it away, actually out for a kick in. So we'll see if they can get the head on it again. It's a good ball to the back post, headed down, or actually headed out of bounds more than down. And that's what they've been looking for all day. Labatt's, they've been looking for those headers. They got one in the 32nd minute that got them on the board and tied the game. Here comes Internacional again, trying to turn. The defender read that play well, and actually Labatt is going to jog to get the ball as they don't want any time being wasted here. Curiously, in the regular season, we said earlier, I think Internacional had something of a plus 40-something goal differential, and they're going to have a corner here, as they were a very good, very offensive team, whereas Labatt's goal differential, despite being in third place, was only plus 2. So Labatt's comfortable in these tight games as that ball's up in the air. Goalkeeper easily gathers it. Whereas perhaps Internacional, yes, they've lost a few times this season, but maybe they're not so comfortable in these close games. They're used to winning by large margins. There's a long drive. The goalkeeper is down. Actually, I couldn't tell if she got it or not. I think it's just out of play. In any case, it's a corner, so Labatt is going to commit some players forward. They're actually going to play it short. First time we've seen that today. And Labatt's get it back. Now we'll see if they go back to trying to get it into the box for some headers. They're really committing players forward now, down by 1. It's a long drive off of an Internacional player. And Labatt will have another corner. Internacional really having to do some defending here. If they can get it away, they'll be in good shape on the counter-attack. As that one is blazed in off a body now. They almost got away on the counter, but Labatt's get it again. Credit to them, Internacional. They've defended these kick-ins and corner kicks quite well. Here's another dangerous one into the box. It's knocked down and would not go, and now here comes Internacional away. Using their pace down the field. It's a heavy touch, though. And the defender gets it back. And the whistle blew there. There was a foul committed. I think it was just a pullback. So 5 minutes to go. Maybe a few minutes of stoppage time. We did have that moment where the goalkeeper went down. Ball up the field. Hanging up there, and it almost fell well for Labatt, and now it will fall well for them. Right on the top of the box, but it's ferocious defending. And they've conceded a foul. Honestly, not a bad decision to commit a foul there. It looked like they were outnumbered, but it's going to be a free kick. And they play it quickly out to the far side, but it's a poor touch. They get it back. There's a drive. Never made it through. It was off an Internacional player. Labatt's really giving a good account of themselves here, really pressing Internacional, who have been the class of this division. Looking to draw even in this playoff final. Another ball hanging up there, but it's just too high and too hard. And Labatt is going to run down the ball themselves. Look at the frustration there on the sidelines. They're definitely in the game. Perhaps they've actually been the better team in the past 5 minutes. They've been pressing well. We'll see if Internacional can respond. High ball up the field. And it was dealt with somehow. I think it's Internacional's ball. Really an exciting ending here. And the referee just making sure they slow it down. They didn't fully stop the ball before it was played in. Ball into the box. Defender up to chest it down. And now they're in some trouble here as there's a bit of a press. And they just hoof it up. This one off a defender rolling out. We'll see if Labatt decide to let it roll, and they do for the corner kick. Now you may as well commit all your players forward. 4 minutes to go. No sense in playing too defensively right now. There's a low ball right in there. And the goalkeeper out to pounce on it. I think in the 7-a-side game, those low, hard corners are really the best decision. As it could hit anything and go into the goal. It doesn't have to hit your player. It can hit the other team and it goes in. What do you care? Goalkeeper putting it up. Really no chance to turn there from Labatt. It's taken away. Back up the field. Internacional looking a bit more defensive now as they're just letting this player go by themselves. And still going. Still on the ball to the top of the box. Glorious opportunity. It's a goal! Against the run of play, but Internacional may have just put the cup final away with that goal. They did what they had to do. They got it to the top of the box, and then it was easy pickings. Yep, that's exactly how you want to work it. Moving it to the top of the box. And then it's so easy for the forwards at that point, just picking their spot. First real quality opportunity we've seen like that today, as both teams have defended very, very well, but right at the end with Labatt's pressing, there was bound to be a breakdown. And Internacional find the back of the net to give themselves a 2-goal lead with 3 minutes to go. Then again, in 7-a-side, anything can happen. Things can change in the blink of an eye. No room. Oh, that's a great turn, though. And the shot is over. Was he shoved down? They're going to call a foul back much earlier in the play. Probably some tugging at the shirt. The ball is behind the goal right now in that kind of construction area, I guess, behind there. Sounds like a big goal was scored just behind us. So you'd have to think maybe a bit of added time here. 3-man wall. What do Labatts have in store here? Over the wall, knocked down. And then Internacional just get a foot to it, and it's going to be a foul anyways. So can Internacional hold on? Internacional maybe with a bit of more possession if you were looking at the game as a whole, but I think these two teams very evenly matched. This one really could have gone either way, and hey, it still can go either way. We'll see how much added time there is. And the defender clears up the field. Internacional really looking to hang back here, and why not? Oh, but they've created a turnover. There's someone through the middle. That's where they're looking. Goalkeeper's out of position. Really nice defending as they slid in there. But it's actually going to be a penalty here. So a penalty for Internacional to really put this one away. We're into stoppage time now. And Internacional looking to cap off their dominant season. They were the best team during the regular season, and in single elimination playoffs, you never know what can happen. It looks like they're about to cap it off, and they do. They put it into the back of the goal. Goalkeeper sent the wrong way. And it's now 4-1. Goal line, or scoreline rather, not really indicative of the match, I don't think. As both teams were evenly matched. Now, well into stoppage time, Labatt's looking to get one back, and that will about do it. So a 4-1 victory for Internacional as they take the Coed 7 versus 7 championship here in the Canadian Corporate Soccer League. Well deserved for Internacional. Well played to both teams in this match. Thank you so much for joining us on Corporate Soccer TV. We'll see you next time.